Hello, this is Frank, and we're now moving on to the boat exam questions and answers. This practice test is designed for anyone preparing for their boating safety certification or recreational vessel operator's license. We'll cover essential topics including safety equipment, navigation rules, emergency procedures, and responsible boat operation. Let's get straight into the questions. What is required for each person on board most recreational boats? 1 USCG-approved wearable PFD readily accessible for each person. This is a fundamental safety requirement because personal flotation devices save lives, and having one readily accessible for every person ensures everyone can quickly put one on in an emergency. Moving on, what must every rider on a personal watercraft wear? A USCG-approved wearable PFD. Unlike larger boats where PFDs just need to be accessible, PWC riders must actually wear their life jackets at all times because of the higher risk of being thrown from these vessels. Next question. What additional flotation is required on boats 16 feet and longer except canoes and kayaks? 1 USCG-approved Type 4 throwable device. This throwable cushion or ring buoy provides a way to help someone who has fallen overboard without putting the rescuer at risk. Let's continue. Which class of fire extinguisher is intended for gasoline and oil fires? Class B marine rated. Class B extinguishers are specifically designed for flammable liquids like gasoline and oil, which are the most common fire hazards on boats. Time for the next question. What device must gasoline inboard engines have to prevent flames from entering the carburetor? A backfire flame arrestor. This safety device prevents engine backfires from igniting gasoline vapors in the engine compartment, which could cause an explosion. Next up, after fueling a gasoline-powered boat with an enclosed engine space, what should you do before starting the engine? Run the blower for at least 4 minutes and sniff for fumes. This critical step helps ventilate any dangerous gasoline vapors that may have accumulated, preventing potential explosions. Let's see what's next. When returning from sea, which buoys should you keep to starboard? Red even-numbered buoys. The phrase, "red right returning," helps you remember that red markers should be on your right side when returning from open water to harbor. Here's another one. What numbering is found on red lateral buoys when returning from sea? Even numbers increasing as you proceed inland. This numbering system helps mariners track their progress and confirm they're following the correct channel. Continuing on, what does a safe water marker look like? Red and white vertical stripes. These distinctive markers indicate navigable water all around them and often mark the center of a channel or the seaward approach to an inlet. Moving on a white regulatory marker, what does a diamond symbol mean? Danger hazard area. The diamond shape is a universal warning symbol alerting boaters to rocks, shoals, or other hazards they need to avoid. Next question. On a white regulatory marker, what does an orange circle indicate? Controlled area such as speed limit. The circle creates a boundary for specific regulations that apply within that area, most commonly speed restrictions. Let's continue. What should you do when you see a red flag with a white diagonal stripe on the water? Keep well clear at idle speed due to divers in the area. This internationally recognized diver down flag warns that divers are below and you must maintain a safe distance to avoid injuring them. Time for the next question. Which VHF marine channel is monitored for distress and calling? Channel 16. This is the international distress and calling frequency that the Coast Guard and other vessels continuously monitor for emergencies. Next up, which word should begin a life-threatening distress call on VHF radio? Mayday. This internationally recognized distress signal indicates grave and imminent danger requiring immediate assistance. Let's see what's next. Which pro word indicates an urgent situation that is not immediately life-threatening? Pan. This signal is used for urgent situations concerning safety that don't require immediate rescue, such as a medical emergency or mechanical breakdown. Here's another one. What are the colors of the sidelights on a power-driven vessel underway? Red port and green starboard. This color scheme is universal in maritime navigation, helping vessels determine each other's direction of travel at night. Continuing on, what does a single all-around white light displayed alone at night usually indicate? A vessel at anchor. This simple light configuration tells other vessels that this boat is not moving and they should navigate around it. Moving on, which vessel must generally give way, a power-driven vessel or a sailboat under sail alone? The power-driven vessel must give way. Sailboats under sail have limited maneuverability compared to powerboats, so they're given the right of way in most situations. Next question. In any situation, which vessel is the stand-on vessel with respect to an overtaking boat? The vessel being overtaken. The overtaking vessel must always give way because it has better visibility and control of the situation when approaching from behind. Let's continue. When two power-driven vessels meet head-on, what is the preferred action? Both alter course to starboard and pass port to port. This standard maneuver ensures both vessels turn the same direction, avoiding confusion and collision. Time for the next question. What does one short blast on the horn mean in an inland meeting situation? I intend to leave you on my port side. This signal communicates your intention to alter course to starboard when meeting or crossing another vessel. Next up, what do two short blasts on the horn mean in an inland meeting situation? I intend to leave you on my starboard side. This tells the other vessel you plan to alter course to port in the meeting situation. Let's see what's next. What does a no-wake zone require of operators? Operate at idle speed that produces minimum wake. This protects shorelines, docked boats, and swimmers from damage or injury caused by boat wakes. Here's another one. How should you operate in fog or restricted visibility? Proceed at a safe speed and keep a proper lookout. Reducing speed gives you more time to react to hazards, while maintaining vigilant watch helps detect other vessels or obstacles. Continuing on. What is the rule regarding a proper lookout? Maintain a lookout by sight and hearing at all times. This fundamental rule of navigation helps prevent collisions by ensuring someone is always watching and listening for potential hazards. Moving on. What does the capacity plate on a small boat indicate? Maximum person's weight and horsepower ratings that must not be exceeded. These limits are calculated for the boat's safe operation, and exceeding them can cause swamping, capsizing, or loss of control. Next question. What is a common effect of sudden immersion in cold water? Uncontrolled gasping and breathing difficulty. This cold shock response can cause drowning even in good swimmers, which is why wearing a PFD is so critical. Let's continue. How should mild hypothermia be treated aboard? Remove wet clothing and warm the person gradually. Gradual rewarming prevents dangerous shifts in blood pressure and heart rhythm that can occur with rapid temperature changes. Time for the next question. Where is the risk of carbon monoxide buildup greatest? In enclosed or poorly ventilated areas on the boat. Carbon monoxide from engines can accumulate in these spaces, causing poisoning or death without warning since it's odorless and colorless. Next up, what is the rule for plastics under federal law? Never discharge plastics into any waters. Plastics persist in the marine environment for decades, harming wildlife and ecosystems, so their disposal overboard is completely prohibited. Let's see what's next. What is true about oil and oily waste discharge? Discharging oil is illegal and spills must be reported. Even small amounts of oil can damage marine life and create hazardous slicks, making proper disposal and spill reporting essential. Here's another one. When may persons be towed on water skis or similar devices? During daylight hours only. This restriction exists because visibility is crucial for both the boat operator and the person being towed to maintain safety. Continuing on. What is the safest and often required method for watching a person being towed? Have a competent observer on board facing aft. The observer can focus entirely on the skier while the operator concentrates on driving, ensuring both navigation and towing safety. Moving on. What safety device should be attached to the operator when riding a PWC? Engine cutoff switch lanyard. This lanyard kills the engine if the operator falls off, preventing the PWC from becoming a runaway hazard. Next question. How should you cross a large wake from another boat? Reduce speed and cross at about a 4-5 degree angle. This approach minimizes the impact on your boat and passengers while maintaining control through the wake. Let's continue. What is a commonly recommended anchor scope for normal conditions? 7:1. This means letting out 7 feet of anchor line for every foot of water depth, providing proper holding power for the anchor. Time for the next question. How should an anchor be set from a small boat? Lower from the bow and back down slowly to set it. This technique helps the anchor dig into the bottom while keeping the boat properly oriented to wind and current. Next up, where should a portable fire extinguisher be stowed? In an accessible location where it can be reached quickly. Quick access is critical in a fire emergency, as seconds can make the difference between a small fire and total loss. Let's see what's next. How can you best prevent propeller strike injuries? Shut off the engine when people are in the water near the stern. Propeller injuries are often fatal or severely disabling, so completely stopping the engine is the only safe practice. Here's another one. Why should you use current charts on unfamiliar waters? To identify hazards, depths, and navigation aids. Charts provide crucial information about underwater obstacles, shallow areas, and safe passages that aren't visible from the surface. Continuing on. What is the best action if you see lightning while boating? Head to the nearest safe shelter and avoid tall objects. Lightning is extremely dangerous on the water, where boats are often the tallest objects and provide no protection from strikes. Moving on. Which rules apply to personal watercraft operation? The same navigation rules and right-of-way rules as other boats. PWCs are legally considered vessels and must follow all the same regulations as any other powerboat. Next question. What is good ramp courtesy before backing down the launch ramp? Load gear and prepare the boat in the staging area. This preparation away from the ramp keeps traffic flowing and shows consideration for other boaters waiting to launch. Let's continue. What factors can increase the effects of alcohol while boating? Sun, wind, and vibration. These environmental stressors accelerate dehydration and fatigue, intensifying alcohol's impairment of judgment and coordination. Time for the next question. What is the typical legal blood alcohol concentration limit for operating a boat? 0.08 BAC. This is the same limit as for driving a car in most states, recognizing that boating under the influence is equally dangerous. Next up. On coastal waters, what visual distress signals must most boats 16 feet and over carry? USCG approved day and night signals. Having both types ensures you can signal for help 24 hours a day in an emergency situation. Let's see what's next. Which of the following is a recognized visual distress signal? Red handheld flare. Red flares are internationally recognized distress signals visible for miles, especially effective at night. Here's another one. What should you do before fueling a gasoline-powered boat? Shut off engine, extinguish flames, and close openings. These precautions prevent gasoline vapors from accumulating or igniting, reducing fire and explosion risks during fueling. Continuing on. If involved in a boating collision, what is your first responsibility? Render assistance if safe and exchange information. Maritime law requires helping others in distress when you can do so without serious danger to your own vessel or persons. Moving on. How should you approach a low-head dam from upstream? Stay well back and turn around long before the dam. Low-head dams create deadly hydraulic currents that can trap boats and people, making them extremely dangerous to approach. And that completes this practice test. Great job working through these questions.